Hi, I'm Mary Jo Webster. This is the first in a series of videos on cleaning data in spreadsheets. We'll go through a variety of little tricks that can help you deal with problematic data. This first one's going to start with date functions that can be super useful. So there's a variety of date functions in spreadsheets, and these are the same whether you're in Sheets or Excel. They allow you to take a date, such as this, we have birth dates and death dates in this particular data set, and we can strip out a year or the month or the day. We can determine what day of the week that date fell on. We can also calculate ages, and it will take leap years and things like that into consideration. So these are not all the date functions that are out there. These are just the ones that we regularly use and find super useful. So as I mentioned, we can pull a particular piece of a date apart. And the reason we might want to do that is perhaps for a pivot table where we want to count up how many people died in a particular year or were born in a particular year. That's the most common, or an event that happened in a particular year or month or day as well. So year and month, of course, are the most useful. Day is a little less useful, but I'll show it to you anyways. So in all these cases, these are functions that are built right into spreadsheets. So you say equal sign and then you write out the function, in this case the word year, and then we give it the cell address of the date that we want to pull that year out of. So in this case we're saying E5, and that's all you need to have inside the parentheses. So it just needs one argument and you say return. Now I've said this in previous videos, the suggested autofill, I don't recommend when you're a beginner, so I'm going to turn this off. So it should come back as a year, but it's possible that you might get this returned as formatted as a new date, and it would probably be something in the year like 1900 something. So if that's the case, it's just a formatting thing. So you just go up to the formatting bar and make it a number or something, whatever you want to change it to here. The automatic here is working fine, but if you for some reason got a date, maybe you switch it to number. Oh, we don't want the comma in there, do we? So if I just put there's ways to do custom. Just that zero down here makes it just a straight up number with no commas or decimals. So we can copy this down and get our years. So it works the same for month, E5. And in this case, it's giving you a number. So 3 is March, 5 is May, etc. And then day is just going to split out that the 9th of the month or the 10th, etc. So it's just pulling out the 29 in each of these cases. So you can see how day of the month is going to be a lot less useful, but you never know. Weekday, though, in journalism, we like to know, well, what things happened on Saturdays, or for example, crime data, you might want to see how many crimes get reported on Saturdays or Sunday mornings or Monday mornings, things like that. And so you might want to know the day of the week. So the function is called weekday, and we'll put in E5 again, their death date, and it's going to come back as a number. And 1 is going to be Sunday and 7 is going to be Saturday. So this person died on a Friday. So we can format this. And if we go up to the formatting options, we can do a custom format. So the simplest way to do this, the formatting toolbar up here doesn't have great options. So we're going to add a function onto this. So I'm going to go in, double click into my formula and add the function text. And we're going to wrap that around the existing function that's in there and then add a comma, and you can convert this, and I'll show you, there's a web page where you can figure all this out, but three lowercase d's in quote marks will tell it to take this and convert it to the abbreviated version of that weekday. So there you go, Friday. So we can copy this down now. I'll drag it. And now we have the words. So this is the page that Google Docs editors help. The text function can do all kinds of things. And down here, it tells you the various date time patterns that text will support. So like a lowercase d for the day of the month, 2 lowercase d's for the day of the month is 2 digits. Here's the one we used. You could put 4 d's in there and get the full name. And there's all kinds of other ones that you can do as well. Okay, so now age. So we can't just take the death date and the birth date and subtract the two. Because of leap years and such, not such a hot idea. So there's a function in here called date diff with one F, date DIF. And what you do is you give it the most current date. So if we want to know their date, the date they die, you start with the oldest date, like their birth date, in this case, D5, or whatever's the older date that you're comparing. And then you put in what you want to compare it to, what point in time you want to compare it to. So in this case, it's the date of death. In a minute, I'll show you what we could do to say how old would they be today if they were still alive. So this is E5, and then we need to give it how we want this expressed in days, months, or years. So we're going to put the letter Y in there. And again, I won't do the autofill. So they were 63 when they died. That person, that looks about right. We can copy this down. So that's how old they were when they died. Now, if we want to know how old they were today, it would really kind of be awful to try to hard code in today's date. So we'll let the computer do a little work for us. So we can put in their birth date. And then there's a function called today that we can put in here. And you just put in the name of the function with nothing in the parentheses. And what it'll do is it'll grab the date off your computer clock. So as long as your computer is correct, it will grab today's date. And again, we'll display this in years. So this person would be 80 if they were still alive today. And what's really great about this is that if you leave this formula in here and you come back, let's say here's someone, so I'm doing this on September 27th. Let's say I come back in here on October 4th or 5th, this number 40 is going to change to 41 because they'll have passed their birthday. And it automatically updates based on the system clock, as long as you leave this formula in here. Of course, this works with, you can do, we had this display in years. You can have it display in days or weeks or months, which could be useful if you're doing something like looking at how long it took for an inspection to occur, the date of the previous inspection, then to the most recent inspection, how much time elapsed between those two things? Was it more than the time required by law? That can be super useful here. And maybe you want that in days or weeks or months rather than years. So you just change that last value in there in order to get that to work.